Okay, John, in the interest of respecting your
Hey,
time, happy to
yeah.
get
Is Jeff
started.
on by chance?
He was,
Is Jeff?
let me double
Okay.
check.
Not a problem. I'm just curious. Because I know some of these he's following after me. So all right, good morning, everybody. Hope you had a great week. First start of the session this week. Got fast and furious, a lot happening. I'll just talk kind of big 50,000-foot issues and then talk a little bit about where we're coming from with some of our priority stuff. The gavelled in this week. Interestingly, the press asked both the Senate president and the Speaker of the House after the governor's state address. When he was leaving the rostrum, he gave the Senate president a big bear hug and then literally ceremoniously avoided the speaker, didn't even give him a handshake. And I think it's indicative to kind of the acrimony that still exists. It's a crossover from last session. And it's still there. And I think what that shows us is it's going to be a long, potentially long and protracted session. The governor or the House or the Senate rather passed the Rural Renaissance bill, which was the last session's priority for Senate President Albritton, who didn't get that priority done. This House refused to do it, so they sent a message by sending it over first week of session. Kind of where we're at right now is the couple issues that are going to be taking up a lot of space. AI is going to be taking up a lot of oxygen. Also, they're going to be, the House in particular is going to start looking at property taxes. Here, where we are on property taxes is the governor wants to get rid of it altogether. The House wants to do some small incremental things. They're moving 2 of their 6 or 7 proposals are moving right now through the process, and the Senate has not taken any kind of position on it thus far. The governor this week also announced, or maybe it was last week, he announced the dates for a special session on redistricting. And so again, he wants to do it in a special session. The House wants to address it in the regular session, and the Senate hasn't taken a position one way or the other on whether or not they even think it should be done. So that's kind of how the stage is set for for the upcoming session. As to things that well, let me back up one minute. One other goal for that the House has is they definitely want to significantly reduce the budget. And again, every time we have chatter of that, we've got to be looking out for infrastructure and trust funds and those things, because those have a lot of money in them and there's big spends there. And will they look at some of those sources to plug holes? Don't know. It's still a little early, probably week 3 before we start to see how the budget is shaping up and what they're looking at as far as big policy items. Any questions on any of that? All right. The kind of what took a bit of our time this week is we're continuing to work on the deregulation bill. And again, I know there's been some confusion and I think maybe even some frustration that kind of we're not taking quote unquote a public position on it. But I want to be clear. I had conversations with the chairman of the Commerce Committee, as well as the subcommittee chair and the sponsor, just reminding them that, hey, thank you for kicking out our repeal for 7 years. We just assume that go away. So it's not as if we're not making our voice known in that space. I expect that bill to be up next week. They're going to make some changes to it. I don't believe at this point any of those changes affect the posture that we're in. And again, the posture we're in is that the FEMIC board stays intact and they sunset our professional board 7 years out. And so stay tuned on that. We'll know here shortly whether that bill's coming and what the changes are going to be. Good news is we have our Chapter 471 bill by Senator Mayfield is on the agenda for next week. That's Senate Bill 800. That includes some changes to, some of the fines for unlicensed activity, and also includes provisions that came through our transportation committee that established as a loan assistance program for folks that are working within state agencies. So that's on the docket. We've got calls from the House staff asking questions. So I anticipate we are hopefully going to get a hearing sometime shortly on the House side as well. Additionally, we have our design contract, bill that Senator Martin and Bill Connerly has filed, and they've got its committee references, and we're again working hard to try to get those bills up and on an agenda and see if we can get some traction for them. You'll know that we anticipated that legislation. And again, that has to do with indemnifying folks, prohibiting the act of forcing you all to indemnify other folks within your design contracts. Your liability is your liability, and the contractors their liability. And we anticipated this taking a couple sessions to get done. Candidly, right now, we haven't seen a whole lot of opposition, which I'm surprised. So, we may move it a little further than we had anticipated. I know Derek from our office, he's actually gotten invited. I don't know if many know, but Derek's a bivocational pastor, so he got invited to be the keynote speaker at FAMU in their Martin Luther King convocation. So he's not with us here today. He's literally there right now, but he's been on top of some of the transportation issues. So far, we've not seen anything that is too troublesome. And again, the agent of the state for contractors so far not moving. That's one that we're opposing. You'll see that we've got our leave behinds. They are coming together for the fly-in, and we're helping with putting meetings together. Laura and her team have done a great job of putting some meetings together. We got a few holes. We're working on those. If any of you have done any of individual meetings on your own, that's great. We welcome it. If you need some help on any of that, haven't heard back, let us know if we can help on that. We'd certainly be glad to do that. Anyhow, Jeff, I know, if you're on, I know you're some things you've been following. You may not be on.
John, he had his call from 9 to 9:30.
Okay.
So we've gone over the
All right,
environmental
great.
bills.
Great. Okay. Any other issues that are pressing? There's a few things that we're still trying to get a handle on of whether they're problematic. So far, nothing's come to our attention, but that plenty of time left. So,
John, Deirdre has a question or comments.
Yeah.
Hey,
Deirdre.
John, good morning. Good morning, everybody. For those of you who weren't on the earlier call, I just wanted to pop in and let you know that the Congress has moved the appropriation, a minibus with appropriations for three of their appropriations bills, including energy and water and the interior environment bill, which funds, of course, interior and water programs within the US EPA. So that's going to the president. So the Congress is about halfway through. The DOT bill has not been finalized yet, so that is something to look at. The continuing resolution ends at the end of the month. So if they don't come to resolution on the final 5 or 6 bills, it will be a partial government shutdown. So we'll have to just kind of see what happens with that. But just wanted to give you that short update.
Thank you, Deirdre. Any questions from our
Anyone else?
membership?
Great.
Seeing none. Thank you, John. Any additional information you'd like to share, or we'll give you back
No,
your
look forward to seeing
your
everybody.
time?
Look
Rick has
forward
a
to seeing
question.
everybody. Oh, yes,
Rick?
sir.
Yeah, any words of wisdom for next week? I know we have meetings to discuss that coming up, but since we have a little free time, anything to prep us up for next week?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think just being here is great. I would say this: if you do have, some of you have, relationships with members. If you do, encourage them to stop by, reception. And we do that. We do the same. And again, I always tell people, if the Senate's been particularly challenging because several members literally that day, the staff showed me their calendars. They have back to back to back to back committee meetings. I mean, they're just and so I always tell people, don't be shy about if we can't get on their calendar, go by, leave your business card, leave a little note, leave behind so that they know you're there, and and that the staff's pretty good about and especially constituents. If I do it, it's no big deal. I'm a lobbyist. I'll set my stuff to the side. But if it's a constituent, they take that stuff very seriously. And also keep in mind too, we're trying to do a couple things. In fact, Laura, I haven't even gotten with you on this because this was late yesterday. A couple of folks that we haven't been able to get meetings with. I think what we're going to do is they're going to come out of off of a committee meeting out in the hall just to be able to say hello to the group and some of their
good.
constituents. So yeah.
Thank you.
So we're trying to get creative on it. And again, it's not every senator, but there's a number of them we try to get meetings with that. I mean, literally they had 4 committee meetings back to back, full on, full plate. And that's kind of a challenge. So
It is.
but I think it's
understand.
going to be,
Thank you,
I think
John.
we always finish strong. We get a little nervous going into it, but it always works out. So.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing those of you who are participating in PE Legislative Days next week. And John, thank you for your time. Thank you, members, for participating.
Certainly.
And have a good day. Thank you, Marnie.
Yeah, thanks.
Great.
Take care now.
See everyone next week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.